And what's up, everybody? This is Terminator Juice, and I want to talk about E3. I'm going to go over basically how I'm feeling about it 2 days into the event. Well, actually, it's on the third day. Um, so, yeah, I got the questions and answer wrap up, and if you guys are watching on Google Plus, you can ask questions. I see I already got one. I'll get to that later. So before I get into really talking about the E3 stuff, I wanted to tell you guys kind of how I feel about events like this, and give you guys a baseline of how I look at it. So my number one thing that I absolutely despise during these things is CGI trailers where they show not only don't they show any gameplay, but they don't show any facet of the game whatsoever. It's just a complete separate thing. They put together full CG stuff that really isn't going to be in the game, like the Dead Island 2 trailer, for example. That kind of stuff just drives me crazy. I don't even know why they show that. It's basically worthless. It's a waste of money. If you can't show us the game, just show us the title and let us know that it's coming. So just wanted to let you guys know how I feel about that. I also don't really care for when it's just a trailer composing all just cutscenes from the game, like they did with Metal Gear Solid 5. That really bugs me as well. So whoever does it, doesn't matter if it's Nintendo or anyone. That stuff really doesn't sit well with me. And then another thing I hate is scripted demos where you know that basically doesn't matter what they do, the demo's going to end the way they wanted, so they basically aren't even really playing, but at least it shows some gameplay and stuff. But that's kind of something I don't care for as much either, but it's better than the other two. So with that, E3 2014, I watched the Microsoft and Sony conferences. I did not watch EA or Ubisoft. Pretty glad I didn't, from what I've seen and what I've heard. And I watched Nintendo's digital event yesterday, and a lot of the Treehouse stuff, and the IGN reveal The Devil's Third. So I've seen quite a bit. I've watched the Smash tournament last night, and so I'm gonna encompass everything. I'm not just gonna talk about the press conferences versus the digital event. I'm talking about hands-on stuff I've seen for the other games, and so we'll start with Microsoft since they went first. It was okay. They didn't talk a whole lot about stuff I don't care about. They just showed a lot of games, most of them third party, and that's something that really bothered me was this exclusive content. Play it first on this console. You get the beta first. Time DLC, all that stuff. No one cares about that. No one's gonna buy the Xbox One because they get time DLC on Call of Duty versus the PS4. They want the version that's going to play the best and run the best, and they want the system that has the games they can't get anywhere else. That should be the deciding factor. So they start off with Call of Duty, and I've purchased probably the last 4 or 5 Call of Duties, but the last 2 I wait till they get a price drop down to 40. Got them on the Wii U. I enjoy some multiplayer deathmatch. I don't put hundreds of hours into it anymore. I think I put like 60 hours into Ghosts, maybe 50, and a little bit more into Black Ops 2. It's obviously the best looking Call of Duty they've ever, made. Who knows if what we saw was run on PC or Xbox One? We don't know, but it looked visually a big upgrade over the previous years, and but it's Call of Duty. What they showed was some single player stuff, and it's just more of the same action set pieces and all that. So for me, that wasn't a great way to start the show. So anyway, we'll try to speed this up. I'm not going to go over every game like that, but I thought I'd start with that one, go a little bit more in depth. So Forza Horizon 2. Another Forza game. I know it's different, it's more of an open world, but at least it's an exclusive, and as long as this doesn't have a bunch of microtransactions and car packs. If you get like a full game to begin with, I have no problem with Forza Horizon 2. It looked pretty cool. I like the first one more than the Forza Motorsports, and it's an exclusive game. If they do it right, it's probably the Forza game they should have had. Forza 5 probably shouldn't have been launched with, you know, half the cars and half the tracks. But anyway, that looked okay. You know, Sunset Overdrive, a lot of people are hyping this up, excited. And it's definitely a unique game, especially on Microsoft, a Microsoft system. I'm not sold on it. I've seen multiple gameplays of it, trailers, and it could be really fun. I didn't like Jet Grind Radio. I don't like the grinding. I don't like the really exaggerated jumping everywhere. Like it might be fun to play, but for me it wasn't fun to watch. So that was another exclusive though. And then, you know, we got Battlefield. We got a lot of third-party games. You know, like I said, exclusive betas for this, exclusive get the game first for that. You know, stuff like that. You know, it doesn't matter to me. So I was starting to get a little tired of that. The Halo 5 CGI. I mean, I thought they'd have some gameplay by now. They teased it last year. So none of that. Excuse me. The Halo Master Chief Collection, Halos 1 through 4, all in one disc, 100 maps, multiplayer maps. You can also play Halo 2, the complete original game, with the original online, you know, completely separate, or you can just go all the maps into one and play. You know, that's a good value for Halo fans. Like, I missed Halo 4, never played it, so if I had an Xbox One, I liked Halo 1 enough that I would probably play it again, but Halo 3 just didn't get me. I could not play that game. I gave up on it, didn't enjoy it, and I missed Halo 2 completely. I was playing Metroid Prime 1 and 2 back then, but for someone like me, you know, it might get me back into Halo. I think it's cool that they're doing it. I don't know if it's good enough to be their big holiday game, but you know, it's pretty cool. And then really nothing on Halo 5, which is disappointing for a lot of people, including me. I thought Halo 4 looked really cool, the art style. They got the lead art designer from Retro Studios who did the Metroid Prime series, so Halo 4 looked a lot like Metroid Prime to me, and I never did play it. So that could be cool, but it's better than nothing. But for all the Xbox people that are calling Sony out for The Last of Us remastered, you're getting Halo 4 remastered. You know, at least you're getting other games. It's a better value, but it's not that much different. So, you know, I don't really want to go into all the third-party stuff. Microsoft's was okay. I watched Sony's, and I got to tell you guys, it was an hour, like 40 minutes. I was texting my friend. I was getting angry after like the 5th CGI trailer. You know, all the talk of play either first on PlayStation or best on PlayStation. Play Destiny first. They didn't say it's probably only going to be a week or two, if that. It might even be a day. You know, they didn't say any like play it a month first or play it. You know, it's just very smug in that. It just really set the tone for the whole thing. They showed a bunch, like a sizzle reel for that game. I'm not too excited about Destiny, so whatever, you know. I'm not hating on it. It looks like it'll be fun for people that like that type of game. And I forgot to mention Evolve for the Xbox One press conference. You know, when I saw the trailer, whenever that revealed, I'm just sick of shooters, you know, and it's just, I know it looks a little bit different, it's unique, it's got these different monsters and stuff, but I'm just sick of shooters, guys. You know, it's just not my thing anymore, and it looks great visually, and you know, the cooperative stuff. I'm sure I could get into it if I gave it a shot, but it didn't really that excite me that much. And then The Witcher 3, which I also forgot, that looked like it got a visual downgrade, unless that was actually running off Xbox One, which I'd give them props if they actually had a game running on Xbox One. You know, it looks like there's a lot of stuff to do. It's It's technically visually impressive. I like the fantasy setting and stuff. So that game looks pretty cool. But all these games I'm talking about, I can play on my PC pretty much, other than the few Xbox exclusives that I mentioned. So I'm looking at these games as potential buying them on my PC, and I don't know what why their Xbox and Microsoft and Sony get these games to show like they're their games. I'm not sure if the third parties pay Sony and Microsoft, or if Microsoft and Sony pay the third parties to get their game on their show and their conference. I'm not sure how that works, but they're taking their time to show me games I'm going to buy for my PC. So it's just kind of funny to me that it's Microsoft's press conference and it's just mostly third party, and Sony was even worse. The only, or a few what do I want to say? Sony had less exclusives. Microsoft they also had that Platinum Games one, which is what I was trying to say. I forget the name of it, but it was just a CG trailer. They didn't really have nothing to show at this point. It seems like it's very early. So Sony, like I said, I was getting really frustrated with the CGI trailers. Then they went into that PlayStation TV for way too long, and I was ready to throw something. I was so angry. Like, I wasn't like angry, but I was frustrated because it was late, and I wanted to go to bed, but I was like, I gotta watch this because I feel like it's my duty to watch them, and like, I'm a game fan. I love games. We'll get to later on in Sony's press conference. I mean, I got pretty excited for Batman, but we're not there yet. So anyway, I'm watching the PlayStation TV, the guy reading the letters, supposedly from fans. Who knows if any of that was real? And then Little Big Planet 3 comes out, and then these people trying to sound like they're having fun playing it. I freaking hated Little Big Planet. I got it for free and downloaded it, and I cannot stand that game. The floaty physics and controls and just doesn't do it for me. And whatever, people like that game, they like to create levels. Maybe that's something good for PlayStation 4 owners. I don't see it doing that well. The second one, the sales dropped way off from the first one. I know PlayStation 4 owners are starving for games, so maybe this one will do alright, but it really didn't do nothing for me. It didn't look that good. It looked like PlayStation 3, which is coming out on PlayStation 3 too, as well as PS4, so maybe they had to compromise on the visuals. I don't know. But nothing exciting there. Dead Island 2 CGI trailer. Bloodborne, the creator of Demon's Souls. I don't know if that's exclusive to PS4. It might be. Not sure. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. CGI trailer. I mean, where is the gameplay? It's just like, what's the purpose of showing a CGI trailer? Don't announce the game if it's that far away, from being even able to show the game. You shouldn't even announce it. That's how I look at it. It's just like, it seems like kind of silly to me. So then I forget the exact order, but all of a sudden they show Last of Us Remastered. I love The Last of Us, my second best game of 2013, and I'd love to see the remastered, because the one thing about that game was the long loading time in the beginning, and it's a slower, like 30 frames per second, just felt kind of sluggish. I would like to see that game with sharper visuals and 60 frames. That would be interesting to me. But all they showed was the cinematics from the game, which looked amazing on PS3 anyway. It was, in-game engine, but you could tell the visuals of the cutscenes were so much better than the actual game. So is that the same for PS4, or is the actual game closer to the cinematics now? I mean, I wish they would have showed some gameplay. But why show? And then they showed all these spoilers for anyone that's looking to buy that game that maybe missed it on the PS3. They show all these spoilers, and it's like, show us the gameplay. That's probably as good as the cinematics in that game. I really love that game, so show us that, and they didn't. So they knocked points off for that. And then boom, GTA 5. Knew that was coming. Two things. All they showed was cinematics and maybe a little bit of the world. Not how you see it from the character perspective, but maybe some of their maybe it was the game engine running it, but it was just like the camera looked down on the pavement as cars went by, and it was, why are you afraid to show the actual games of these remastered games? They're, what's the problem there? I mean, I guess that game sells itself, and Rockstar usually doesn't even do E3, so maybe they'll have their own little event. And then Sony like makes it sound like it's only on the PS4. They're like, oh, transfer your 360 and PS3 online data so your character, can play on the PS4 version, and then like only showed like available on PS4, and then find out it's going to be PC and Xbox One. Don't try to deceive us. That's another thing I forgot to mention in the beginning. I hate when people and companies try to deceive their customers and the consumers. It really puts a bad taste in my mouth. And I've had, in real life here, I've had like dealerships try to deceive me with my car, my motorcycle, and that stuff just really does not sit well with me. So don't try to deceive us and act like GTA 5's only on PS4. Why even try? The news is going to come out immediately after that. It's going to be for PC and Xbox One. So why try to make it like it's on the PS4 only? They didn't say it, but they tried to make it seem that way. But another cinematic trailer, Metal Gear Solid 5, another one, cinematic trailer with all cutscene footage. It's actually in-game cutscenes, and we have seen some gameplay before, and especially if you played Ground Zeroes, but I wasn't going to buy that trash. So it's just a bunch of cinematics to this really weird song and music, and just, I don't know, that did nothing for me. It did a lot more last year when they showed Snake on the horse and the open world, and it looked a lot better to me in that way. Cinematics, they just don't do nothing for me when I haven't seen much of the game yet. So then it got to the only pretty much good part of the Sony press conference, was Batman Arkham Knight, and that felt like that was a demo. Like that guy was playing the game. I don't know, maybe they had it so scripted that it was going to pan out exactly that way. It made it seem like he was playing it. Looked incredible. The art style of Gotham. I wish the Dark Knight movies would have went with a stylized version of Gotham instead of like Chicago and Pittsburgh. This looks like Gotham to me. It looked awesome. The way you can just fly anywhere. It was seamless, very impressive. Got in the Batmobile, seamless transition. The way the wheels kind of switched sideways and the maneuverability. It was like a tank with like a big turret on top, and that looked really cool. And then it just went from that. It shot out of the Batmobile, went flying again. He landed on like a railing seamlessly, took out a couple guys, and I was just like, I was in awe. I was like, this is probably the next PC game I'll buy for sure. I gotta have that game. I'm not gonna not play that game. I'm not gonna buy a PS4 or Xbox One to play it because I have the I have the PC. So it didn't. It was, again, Sony's taking their press conference to sell me games that I'm going to be buying on my PC. So that was part of the problem. All the talk of the PlayStation TV and stuff, big part of the problem. All the CGI trailers, it didn't do it for me. And then the next thing we saw, CGI trailer for Uncharted 4. Full CG. They said this was taken off an actual PlayStation 4. Yeah, they probably put in a Blu-ray disc and played that CG trailer and then captured it through the HDMI with a capture card. That was not in-game graphics. I'm sure it will be amazing looking when it's out, but CGI trailers are just my number one annoyance at these things, and that was just not a way to end it. I just felt like I wish I would have went to bed like right away, but I wanted to watch it so I could talk about it. So wasn't great. Nothing really about other than Arkham Knight. And then we find out today they asked the developer what was that demo running on PS4. They're like, no, that was the PC build. There you go. Trying to make it look like it's a PlayStation 4 event, Sony's press conference. they're playing a big third-party game, and it's not even running on the PS4. It's on the PC. They're trying to deceive us. I don't know if that's the third party to blame or if that's Sony. Of course, they want to put the best version of their game out there, but don't try to make it like it's the PlayStation 4 version. It really, once I found that out, I was just like, that took it down another level for me, Sony's press conference, so I was not pleased with that. And I also wanted to mention Battlefield Hardline. They both I think at both press conferences they showed some footage. That game looks like Battlefield 3 from 3 years ago. It looked like the same campaign, so I feel sorry for anyone that's excited for that game and buys it. Anyway, I just want to mention that. So that was day one. I didn't watch Ubisoft's or EA's, but I did watch some of the trailers for Madden. Come on, it looks like the same crap. Bunch of CG, bunch of like live action, then a little bit of the gameplay from like replay perspective, not showing like behind the quarterback. It doesn't look that much better than last generation. I don't know why anyone still buys that game. Ubisoft Assassin's Creed, I forget which press conference showed some Assassin's Creed Unity. I think it might have been Xbox. It looks better visually, but in the 4-player co-op could be fun, or it could really suck. I don't know. I didn't like really play Assassin's Creed 4. I bought it, got about 5 hours into it, and was bored. So these annual games are just not doing it for me. So I'm glad I didn't watch those ones. I'm speaking of Ubisoft, I forgot to mention Far Cry 4 at the PlayStation press conference. That game looks really visually impressive. I'm sure it was running on PC again. There's no way that PS4 version is going to look that good. It was pretty visually stunning. Far Cry 3 wasn't it didn't really do it for me. I don't know how else to say it. It was an open world game with this like story of like your friends needed to be rescued and their lives were in danger, but yet you could just wander around for hours and do all these side quests. The story didn't fit the open world setting, but once I got past that and just like captured like the bases and stuff, I actually had fun with that game. Played it on the 360, very slow, 25 to 30 frames per second, and visuals weren't that good. So I think I would have enjoyed it more on the PCs, but Far Cry 4 looked better than Far Cry 3, and the graphics looked pretty impressive. But again, I think I'm gonna guess that was run on PC. So overall, the highlights for those were Batman: Arkham Knight for sure. Maybe Far Cry 4 would be second. Everything else is just kind of, I'm gonna wait and see. The Witcher 3, I'm gonna wait and see. If that gets really good reviews, I'll probably get it on my PC. So that was day one. Then I woke up, went to work, took a half day, came home in time for the digital event. I actually recorded. I was recording my reactions and stuff, and I haven't put that video up yet. I kind of feel embarrassed by it because I had a smile on my face like the whole time, and I looked like just a little giddy kid. And first of all, it was very funny. Like the Robot Chicken shorts, that sounded funny, but the guys who do Robot Chicken did all the like short little, figurine little skits and whatever. The one with Reggie and the fan, like, oh, where's Star Fox, or not another Mario? And then he's like, we don't have a Mario this year, and then it cuts to Mario like saying what? And it was just funny. I was laughing my ass off, and then Iwata and Reggie fighting. That was really cool. It just shows that they like to have fun at Nintendo, and maybe it's not all fun in games. I'm sure there's times where people aren't enjoying their lives and jobs there, but for the most part, it seems like it's pretty damn fun. And they tried to convey that with this digital event, and I was just, like I said, I couldn't stop smiling. I was just really enjoying it. So that went into Smash with the Mii characters. Doesn't bother me that Mii characters in there. I'm not a huge Smash fan, and I'm not going to be like some competitive player. So as long as the balance is okay, maybe they're not going to be in the for glory mode. But every time I see Smash, it always looks good. I mean, it just looks like an amazing, fun game, and I'll touch on more of that later when I talk about the Invitational. But good way to start. And then they showed Yoshi's Woolly World, and I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna front here. That's one of the best looking games I've seen at E3. Like that art style, that with that everything looks created by Yawn or some kind of fabric. That just really impressed me, and I even said in my reactions, if I ever upload that video, you'll see I'm like, I'm not a fan of Yoshi games. I never really liked Yoshi's Island enough to get excited about another Yoshi game, but the way that art style is with the two-player cooperative, and it just looked amazing. The depth of field, the blur effect, the layers, front, middle, and like the background, everything just looked incredible. And I'm not like a graphics whore for like 1080p 60 frames, all the time, amazing realistic visuals. I'm not that guy, but when I see this like unique art style, and I wish they'd make a Mario game that looked like that. That looks amazing. I have to buy that game just because I love that art style so much. It might be my top game visually speaking of all of E3. I just love that Yoshi, and it might be an easy game, and some people might call it kiddie. I'm sure there's some challenges, in the game. I heard Kirby's Epic Yarn was really easy. Was pretty much the only complaint. Hopefully they make it a little more challenging, because you get bored when something's too easy. But I just love that art style, and I'm a sucker. Just like if you watch Icy Rhythms videos, he loves art styles as well, and I'm a sucker for that stuff. And then they showed the Toad, was it Tracker or something? That looks amazing too. And it's like it's the 3D World engine, but it looks better graphically. I love the Toad levels, especially the last one was really challenging on 3D World. And I was hoping it was going to be DLC, but it might just be a standalone game. I don't know if it's going to be download or retail, maybe both. But I gotta have that game. It looks really fun. It's like they took if you guys played 3D World, and you've probably seen the video or you watched the digital event, the ones in 3D World were relatively simple. You had to find the 5 stars. There wasn't a lot of layers to the levels, but this one looks very like the scale of it was just way bigger, and there's like a boss fight with like a dragon, and just some really cool effects going on. Really charming, Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna like brag about playing Toad. I don't think it's gonna be as good as 3D World, but as long as it's not like a $60 game, unless it just has as much content as 3D World, that just looks fun. Puzzle platformer. They use the gamepad for like a different perspective, like a first-person perspective, and then the TV has the standard like top-down, whatever. You can move the camera in any way. That game looked fun. It looked great. I love the 3D World. I love the Toad levels in that. So looking forward to that game. And anyone that I could see why some people wouldn't be super excited for that, but it looks like it'd be a fun game to play. So next, they surprisingly went into The Legend of Zelda, and Aonuma, just hearing him talk and his confidence about it, and you can tell this is a very intelligent man. The Link Between Worlds was an amazing game. It was basically a sequel to A Link to the Past. I mean, it had the same game world. They had a lot of great ideas, but they stuck to a very similar, like the game world was very similar. The music, even though it was amazing, was basically the same as it was in A Link to the Past. But I think they really learned something, and I like Skyward Sword, don't get me wrong. But if you notice, go back and look at screenshots, anything in Skyward Sword, there's almost always some kind of just generic hills or trees blocking. There's never a spot where you can just see very far. That game, you could tell the Wii was really holding it back. And I told a friend of mine when that game came out, I said, imagine if this game, that art style, was on an HD system, and the Prince of Persia game on the 360 that came out like 4 or 5 years ago had like a watercolor style with more of a cel shaded outline, but looked amazing. I said, imagine if Skyward Sword could look like that, and you know they could take Skyward Sword and up-res it, or you know make it run in 1080. And the problem is, like I said, the design. There was just all these walls and trees and places you could never see just very far, and so in my mind, I'm just trying to imagine what this new Zelda game is going to look like. I'm stuck picturing all the past games, you know, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time, you know. There's never a spot where you can just see like from very far. So in my mind, that's all I can see. I'm just trying to picture HD visuals, and he's talking, and they, boom, and you just see this huge field and these hills and the flowing grass and the mountain. In the very background you see maybe a volcano. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm not ashamed to say that that was a defining moment for me in video games. Like when I seen that, that was as big of a moment as when I saw Super Mario 64 for the first time at Toys R Us when I think I was 16 or 17. This game did that for me, and I was not expecting like just to see that. Like everything I thought was shit compared to what they showed. And some people are like, oh, it doesn't look, you know, that HD, and it doesn't look that sharp. And look at it again. That live stream was kind of pixelated and stuff on my computer. I had it on high, but it was, you know, still affecting the quality. And then you start seeing something move, and then like the lasers or whatever, and the explosions. And on my reaction video, actually, I'm gonna cut to a screen share, and I'm gonna show you guys that moment, and then I'm gonna come back. But for a second, it's gonna like be infinite here, so just bear with me. This was my live reaction to the Zelda, so I'll play that real quick. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. You know, wow. That's different. Holy crap. Guys, this is awesome. It's a younger Link. Maybe. Yeah, probably 2015. That's all they're going to show. Come on, give me more. I hope they talk more about that in the after. So yeah, that was my live reaction, and like I said, that was like a defining moment for me. Like, I'm sure that the more we see of this game, it's gonna, you know, look even better and stuff. But that moment when I saw that field, I'll probably remember that until my memory goes. When I get old, that's gonna be a moment that kind of defines this generation. I can't think of a moment like that happened last generation or even the one before, the GameCube. So, like I said, it was amazing. I'm trying to find words to describe the feeling I had when I saw that. I've rewatched it multiple times, and it makes me realize why the poets exist in the world, because you gotta have like some way to express a feeling without just saying words. You know, I don't know how else to say it. Like, I was just blown away. It was almost like when they showed that Link, you know, with the bow, and then he shot it, and a lot of people are saying it might be a girl, which it could be, and then it might not even be Link, but just that visual design, you know, the light in the hair, there's just all kinds of just lighting effects, and with that cel-shaded look, and I'm looking at it in my background, which is just amazing. And some people don't like it, some people thought it was great, but for me, I cannot wait to see that more. I was hoping, like I said, I hope they show more. Maybe they'll end E3 with another trailer. That would be amazing. Um, I don't. I'm speechless thinking about it. It's just it was that good for me, and it made that digital event instantly like amazing. Obviously, I've gone back and rewatched the other games just to kind of get back, down a little bit, from that high, and overall, it wasn't. They didn't have the most amazing games of all time, but they had solid games, and that Zelda reveal just, oh my God, just that was it. I hate to say the word, but I felt like I fell in love instantly, for real. Like that's might sound cheesy, might sound corny, and I don't know. I don't care. It was that much of a feeling for me. So it's hard to go on after that because they showed that like kind of in the early third of the digital event, and then they showed like a trailer for like Pokemon on 3DS. I don't care about Pokemon. And then Bayonetta. They showed Bayonetta 2, kind of a CG trailer. Not CG, it was like cutscenes, and then it showed some gameplay. And I was like, yep, the game looks solid still. And then they show these costumes of like Peach and Link and Samus, and I'm like, why would that seems kind of weird for Bayonetta 2. And then they show the Bayonetta pans out, and it's Bayonetta 1 included with Bayonetta 2, and I was just like, sweet, because I've never played Bayonetta 1. I wanted to buy Bayonetta 2, but now I can play the first one, and hopefully it's optimized and runs well on the Wii U. I know the PS3 version was so bad, the frame rate, that it was unplayable, got bad reviews because of it, and I'm excited. That's only Nintendo, would do something like that, and I'm sure it's just going to be a $60 game, and it's been confirmed that the first one is going to run 1080p 60 frames per second. I don't know if that's true, but it's what I heard or what I read. What a great thing. I mean, I was so happy when I saw that. Definite day one purchase now for Bayonetta 2. So that was great. Exclusive games. All these games are exclusive other than Bayonetta 1, obviously. And then they went to, like, I think Hyrule Warriors. It looks like it could be a fun game. The highlight for me was Midna as a playable character. I love that character from Twilight Princess. I liked Wolf Link, and I'm glad to see they brought her into the game. And Zelda's also playable with Link and Impa. So that game looks cool, but how could you show that after the Wii U new Zelda game? I don't understand what they were thinking there. It failed visually in comparison, and I may not buy that game. I don't know. I've never played Dynasty Warriors, but that game looked great. And trying to wrap this up here for this part of it. The Yoshi, not the Yoshi, but the Kirby thing. Kirby's not Canvas Curse. What was that game called? Dang it, I forgot what it's. The Kirby on the DS, where you had to draw the lines, the paths to keep Kirby from dying and stuff. That was a fun game. This one, I gotta say, at first I didn't think much of it, but once I saw like the Treehouse, like the developer playing it, and it was on screen and like really good quality, that game's got some really really sharp like claymation style visuals. I mean, the lighting and the texture of the clay, everything looked good. That rivaled Yoshi's Woolly World for me. Excuse me. That game looked like amazing. The problem is from what if you watch any hands-on like Game Explain and stuff, you're never looking at your TV. You have to look at the gamepad to draw the lines. So maybe if somebody's in the room, they could really appreciate the visuals. But I can't. I won't be looking at my 65-inch Sony LED TV to see this amazing looking game. I'll be looking on the gamepad, but it is using the gamepad and the touchscreen, and I'm sure it would be fun. The original one was very challenging. It was probably the hardest Kirby game they've ever made, and that could be cool. It's 2015. I'll probably consider picking it up, but I want to see a little bit more. And then probably the biggest disappointment was Xenoblade Chronicles X. Got pushed to 2015. I kind of had a feeling. I saw the rumors that it was coming out in like September, October, but I did not think it was going to be that. And it gets pushed to 2015, not even like a window, so it's probably going to be holiday 2015 if we're lucky. They may have downgraded the visuals slightly, but the character models probably took the worst of it. The environment still looked epically huge, and the creatures are massive, and the animations are nice, and it's just a huge open world. Watched the gameplay on the Treehouse of that. It looks cool. I'm not a huge RPG fan, but that combat system looks like I could get into that. The story could be kind of cheesy anime type stuff, but I did like the science fiction element of the huge city was on a ship and it crash landed on this like planet with all these creatures, and there's a huge city that's like LA size, like picture GTA 5, size city in that spot, but then the world around it was way bigger. So that game looks promising, and it was just a bummer that that's coming out in 2015 now. So 2014 is looking a lot lighter than it was without X. And then I don't want to forget anything, but I think the last thing they showed was Smash, the unveiling of that new character. I never played a Kid Icarus game. Didn't play Uprising. Don't know the character. I can't even remember her name. She's the one thing I will say is that anime like opening sequence with Link fighting. They need to make that into a TV series, a cartoon, animated series. That looked really cool, and I hope that they think about doing that for maybe a short little, mini series or something, either be on TV or be downloadable. That looked really cool, and then the character was just a really attractive like anime character, and then in Smash she's really cute, and I could see why they put her in the game. Another female character is good for the female players. I like to play as female characters in fighting games and in a lot of games actually. I don't know if it's just because I'm a dude and I like looking at women, so that might have something to do with it, but it's not definitely a good addition. And I was just looking at a question here. I'm glad Terrell TIGF. Glad you asked this. How'd you feel about Nintendo Shooter Splatoon? Like I would have forgot about that game. I'm glad you asked it. On the digital event, I was like, that could be fun. But on the Treehouse Live event, when they were having 4-on-4 matches, the way they had that set up on the showroom floor with 8 TVs, 8 Wii U's, people could play versus matches. It looked like maybe the same map every time. That game looks really fun, really strategic, and I know a lot of people are going to be off-put by the teen animation style character designs, but that looked like a very tactical, very chaotic and fun online game, and it's 4-on-4 tactical, so if it doesn't have voice chat, they might as well not even make it. But if that has some kind of voice chat support, that could become very addicting, and as long as there's a lot of levels and some other game modes other than just the one, where you just ink your color and whoever has the most ink wins, because that could get repetitive and boring after a while. But watching them play that and how like down to the wire it came, and the different mechanics, like you turn into a squid and you swim quickly through your own color, fill up your paint like jug on your back or whatever. That actually looks really cool. Now that I've seen them play it, I'm on board. That could be a really cool game. And I know you'll hear the hardcore gamers, the Sony drones and the Xbox guys are gonna be like, oh, look at that kiddie shooter, that looks stupid, and the same old stuff. It doesn't look realistic. Why don't they have bullets? But that game looks really cool. So I'm not. You guys know, if you follow me for long enough, I'll play any type of game. I'm not gonna sit there and judge a game by its cover, and cartoony visuals mean I'm not gonna play it. That's I'll play any game, and that's kind of what I'll get to when I wrap this up. But that game looked really cool, so I'm glad you asked that question. The other question was accidentally deleted. Let me see if I can remember what he asked. Damn it! I'm sorry. I think it was the first question that was up. Mario Walker, I think you asked it. I accidentally cleared it, so let me see here. Oh, there it is. Now that Star Fox is confirmed, do you think we see more gameplay in a direct? Yeah, definitely. There is a little playable demo, I guess, at E3. It's very early stages. I guess you use the analog stick, the left analog stick to move, the right analog stick for barrel rolling, then you use the gamepad to aim. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I hate on it. That could be very tiring for your arms if that's the case. Hopefully that's just an option. Star Fox on the Super Nintendo was one of my favorite games of that generation. So hopefully it doesn't play all that the whole like there's an option not to play it that way. But I guess that's gonna get a short development time. Maybe even be a download only. They said it should be ready within a year. Kind of sucks that they're not going full out with Star Fox, but it's better than nothing. And the other Miyamoto games, that was another disappointing thing. A very early build of Star Fox, Project Giant Robot looked very rough, very raw, very early into the development, and then the Project Security or whatever, Guard. Tell me he hasn't been working on those for the last 2 years, because maybe he's been helping with other things. Those games look like demos and mini games and stuff, so that was another disappointing thing. Overall, very entertaining, very well produced. I think the digital event is far superior to any press conference Nintendo's ever done, and you can't even compare it to last year's Direct. Last year's Direct was, you could tell that they were not ready for just about anything. Like the games that took forever to come out, that Direct was Iwata just saying the name of a game in a 2-minute trailer, and then him coming out saying another game, 2-minute trailer. This Direct was amazing. I was laughing, very entertaining. That 47 minutes felt just about right. Maybe they could have went a little longer and done like an indie game in depth. That was probably the 3 disappointing things were those 2, plus they didn't really highlight the indie developers in that. They did do a trailer for the indie games on their YouTube channel immediately after, but that should have been in the Direct, especially some of the exclusive indie games. But overall, I thought it was great. Not every game's for me, but every game looked very polished and unique, and they covered a lot of different types of games. The Mario Maker, which I forgot to mention, could be cool depending on how in-depth it is. If they really go in and let you create basically any level that you want, they would create, if they give you all the tools, that could be really cool. Sharing levels online and stuff, I could see a lot of people getting into that and sinking a lot of time into that. So, if you guys have any other questions, feel free. All right. Apparently, there'll be an unannounced video title that will be revealed tonight. Your thoughts and speculations. This is from Terrell TIGF. I thought it was going to be the Mario Maker game when that picture leaked. I thought that 3DS game was going to be Mario Maker. So the fact that Mario Maker's on Wii U, I'm really excited. I don't know what time they're going to reveal that, and if it's going to be a live reveal. If you know, please share. I think it's going to be, they said that they needed 90 minutes because it needed to be explained quite a bit. So that tells me it's going to be some kind of new concept, possibly, or something really involved. Like someone said on IGN, I think Animal Crossing isn't a game you can just show a trailer for, or Tamagotchi Life. You can't just show a trailer for it. People don't know what the hell they're looking at. So it's going to be something, I'm thinking, very new, a new concept, and needs to be explained. But exciting. If they're giving it this much time and this much attention, and it's Nintendo, you know that they think they got something good. So I'm very excited for that. Hopefully I can stay up and watch that. I've been staying up late and getting up and going to work. I was up till 1 in the morning the night before E3 watching Active Gamer Life's podcast, and or maybe it was on a level-headed channel. But I've been staying up late. Last night I was up till midnight again, and this is the best time for me, other than when the games actually come out. So I guess I'm gonna kind of summarize now that you've heard my thoughts. I love the Nintendo Digital event. Then they announced the Devil's Third. I forgot about that. IGN got to reveal exclusively the Devil's Third is an exclusive Wii U game from the creator of Ninja Gaiden on the original Xbox. That I'm terrible with Japanese names, but the director went and made his own company, Valhalla Studios. They've been working on the Devil's Third. It got THQ was going to fund it, then they went out of business, and Nintendo is funding it now. I don't know what the Devil's Third is. Is that a sequel, a third game, or is it just something to do with the title? I don't know if there was other Devil games, so I don't know that much about it. All I know is it looked pretty damn cool. Lots of character, lots of zany stuff going on. It had swordplay, third person, and also had first person shooting. Very mature. I hate to use the word mature, but some swearing, some scantily clad women, tattoos. It looked like it's gonna be vulgar. Single player could be fun. It has an online multiplayer. Excuse me, allergies. My nose is itching. Online multiplayer could be really cool. It actually looked way better than I was expecting. So, and I liked the Ninja Gaiden game on the original Xbox. It was the best game on that system, and I really love that game. So I'm hoping that carries over into this Devil's Third game. I don't think it's going to sell that well, but it could be something I could pick up. I don't know about a release date. So overall, Nintendo, they definitely had the best showing as far as like press conference, that stuff. And then it continued with their live Treehouse stuff. They're showing a lot of hands-on. IGN has the third-party games, GameSpot, game trailers. They have a lot of the third-party games hands-on. But to see these Nintendo games, I just watched Smash, saw the Yoshi game with Audrey Drake. Used to be on IGN, is now part of the Nintendo Treehouse. So I really like what they're doing, and I know like Sony and Microsoft have to pay attention to this, because anyone that's reported from the showroom floor just said Nintendo's showroom floor is just amazing. The Smash line, the crowd around Smash is huge. People are really digging it, and yeah, it was a great day for Nintendo, and definitely as a fan myself, I was geeking out, and I loved just about everything they did. And they could have shown a few more games. I guess they could have given us, I don't know if Smash is the final name, is just going to be Smash for Wii U. It's kind of odd that I thought they were going to give it a name. And I also forgot to mention the 3DS version of Smash, release date October 3rd, which kind of scares me, because I thought that was going to come out in June, July, and then they'd have their full team working on the Wii U version for a couple months. So it says holiday 2014. I think they're going to put everything they can to get that game out this year, which they need that game for the holiday, so I would expect December. But yeah, everything they showed was great. They had a couple of the best looking games, like the Legend of Zelda, Yoshi, and the Kirby game, some of the best visuals. For me personally, I love art style, aesthetics versus raw horsepower, raw like realism. But other than that, the Batman Arkham Knight looked great. Definitely getting that for the PC, and a lot of great games. As a gamer, there's no reason to not be happy with all these great games. There were some duds, and all the CG trailers, really upset me. But overall, a lot of great games. I'm happy to be a Wii U owner. I'm glad I got my PC, so I can play some of these other games. And I'm just happy that there's a lot of great games coming out this year and next year. And I don't buy into this who won E3 crap. I think the gamers win. I don't think, I can say Sony's press conference was very disappointing. Microsoft's was okay, and Nintendo's did an amazing job, but still, Sony showed Batman Arkham Knight, even though it's third party multiplat. that was one of the highlights for the whole thing for me. I mean, that ranks right up there, the top 5. So a lot of great games, and just very happy overall. So Terrell said that he believes 9 or 10 Eastern time on that 3DS game, which makes sense because we're in LA. They're doing it in LA, so if it starts at 6 or 7 there, that's going to be 9 or 10 for me. So thanks for that. Ooh, Pac-Man reveal for Smash. Thoughts? I didn't think I would like Pac-Man being in Smash, but I watched that reveal trailer on my lunch at work today, and it put a smile on my face. I was a Pac-Man player, back in the day. There wasn't much more when I was, 5 or 6. There wasn't much more than Pac-Man. And we had Atari and stuff like that. But Pac-Man was awesome. The music, the sounds are still ingrained into my memory, and the fact that it looked like the Sonic from, or not Sonic, it looked like Pac-Man from like 20 years ago, the first time he was like a 3D character with arms and legs. I really liked the design. But the best part for sure was his smash move with the 2 ghosts coming out, and a lot of the old Namco, I don't even know if it was 8-bit back then, but a lot of the old games that kind of gave an homage to a lot of his moves, used those, and then his final Smash is like a huge like old Pac-Man, 2D Pac-Man. It looked awesome. The music, it just put a smile on my face, and I'm glad he's in the game. And they're doing right by that game. And I completely forgot to talk about the Smash Invitational. And Gamer Upload said he thinks Smash 4 is the name. No, because it's 3DS and Wii U, and not going to have it's going to be either each have their unique name, or they're going to stick with Smash Brothers for Wii U, Smash Brothers for 3DS. I doubt it. I think they're going to come up with some kind of name, but they got to leave something. That game's 6 months away, so they got to leave something else to announce. But the Smash Invitational. I've never watched pro gaming before. I know there's a lot of events, Evo and all that. I've never watched a second of it in my life. And to hear that crowd reaction when the event started, seeing all the people dressed up in cosplay, I've seen 10-year-old kids, I've seen 40, 50-year-old adults, and everything in between. Everyone just cheering and having a blast. Then the announcers, they were okay, and the host Jeff Keighley, I thought he did a great job. And seeing Smash played competitively, holy crap, those guys are good. Those guys and girls are amazing. That game looks fluid. It looks fast. I mean, some people, the pros are saying it's not melee fast, but it's faster than Brawl. Overall, it was a great event. It was 2 hours long, and I gotta say, I've been following the Smash progress, but I've told you guys, I've said this before, I wasn't a diehard huge Smash fan. I didn't buy Brawl. I played it a couple times. I own Melee and never really played it with a group, so I missed out on a lot of what made that game great. But I gotta say, after that invitational, I'm hyped for that game. I can't wait to play that game online and hone my skills and try to at least be able to compete a little bit with some really skilled players. I'm just really excited about that game now, and I think anyone who watched the stuff Nintendo did yesterday, watched that invitational tournament, if you're saying Nintendo didn't do a good job, then you're just blind hatred. You're just completely biased, because I'm not sure where else it was viewed on, but on Twitch it had 180,000, 160 to 180,000 at all times viewing. On YouTube it had 50,000 people watching. I don't know if it was viewed anywhere else. That's not millions of people, but the audience there was excited. There was quite a few people watching online, and it was a great event. And Reggie come out. If you guys didn't notice, seemed like he had tipped a few back earlier, and he had a little buzz on, and it was pretty funny when he told that dude he'd come back and kick his ass after he got better by playing the 3DS version, and I thought that was funny. I thought Reggie was definitely the man for that digital event. You know, Iwata last year, it's just white background and boring, just talking, and then Reggie just has so much more charisma, and it just was awesome. I'm a fan of Reggie. I think he's a good CEO of Nintendo America. I don't know if he's actually CEO anymore. He used to be, but I think he's a good personality, and I like his charisma, and I think he's great for Nintendo. And it's just, what else can I say? That event was amazing, and now I'm one of those guys super hyped for Smash Brothers. So it worked for me. I'm sure it worked for a lot of other people. Some of the pro or like serious players, they might find things to not like about that game, but everything I'm seeing, it just keeps looking better and better, and I just can't wait to see it, running on 60 frames on my TV, like playing it, and hopefully the online and everything's as smooth as like Mario Kart 8. So really looking forward to that. And yeah, overall it's just been a good E3 so far. Tuned into the Treehouse almost all the time. They've shown a few games multiple times now. I've seen Mario Maker twice and the Splatoon a couple times, but it's really good. Mario Walker asks, did I play Smash on the N64? And the answer is no, never once in my life. I've never even seen it, other than maybe like a montage related to Smash or some video on YouTube. I've never seen that game, never played it. I remember the trailer or the TV commercial back in that day, and I thought it was funny that they had those characters fighting. And N64, I just got out of high school when that came out, and you're 18 years old, and you think you got to go out and do stuff all the time, and I was just constantly going places with my friends, and we could drive, and we were free, and we had jobs, so we could buy stuff. And I missed a lot of some of the bigger N64 games. I played GoldenEye, I played Mario 64, I played Ocarina of Time, but there was quite a few games that I wish I had played, and I thought about downloading it on the Wii. I think it was like $10 though, so I only got one classic controller, so I never did play that game. Glad you asked that. That just kind of shows that my Smash heritage isn't that good, really. I mean, I played Melee, and mostly single player, and then I played a few times Brawl with friends and the Wii, probably about 4 years ago. So I don't have that much experience, so that's why I'm very excited for this game now. I want to get in and get into that game, and they only release, other than the 3DS version, now we're getting two at once, but they only release those games once a generation, and you just you don't get that like Mario Kart. There's not a lot of franchises that can hold it back and only give you one per generation. I think that just makes it extra special when they get that new game after 6-7 years. So I'm very excited to play the new one. What is the 3DS developer roundtable game? Asked by Grayson Young. We just talked about that. I don't know. I said it's probably something unique and new concept that needs explanation. I don't think they'd give 90 minutes to a 2D Metroid game or a Star Fox game. Unless it had just some mind-blowing concept or gameplay, it's going to be something new. It's going to be something out there that takes time to explain, that you can't just show a trailer for. So that's what I think it is, but we'll find out later. And Mario asks, was I disappointed not to see a new Metroid? Yes, I was disappointed, but I want that game to be done right. And I know Retro just got done with Tropical Freeze in November. I know they probably had some pre-production. If they're the ones making it, I think they are. But, the Wii U has got some momentum now. But if you look at the sales, it's way behind the GameCube and the Dreamcast, actually. So maybe they could have used a game like that, but you also got to think about the future. You got your Mario Kart already. We got our 3D Mario. We're getting Smash already. You got to leave some games for the next 2 years. And, Zelda, unless it gets delayed, will probably be 2015 holiday. you got to have something for 2016. You got to have something for 2017. So if they're doing another first-person adventure Metroid game for the Wii U, I'd like to think it gets at least 3.5, 4 years development time, which would put us in 2016. So yeah, it does kind of suck, but like I said, it's gonna be worth waiting for, and they gotta have something for those games. I know they'll probably have another 3D Mario game by 2016, but yeah, I was slightly disappointed, but I think it's gonna be worth the wait. Good things come to those who wait, so I'm not that upset about it. So yeah, I mean, kind of covered everything now. I do want to touch on a few things that have been bugging me. I've mentioned this before. Oh, there's one more question related to Smash. I'll get to that real quick. Do you think Miss Pac-Man would be an assist trophy? Possibly, or maybe another skin for Pac-Man. I don't see why they can't have a Mrs. Pac-Man option for the female players. One of those two options I would think is very likely. But yeah, getting back to what I was about to say, you see games like The Witcher 3 pushing visuals it's a fantasy setting, but they're pushing visuals in a more realistic, like trying to get real. It's hard to describe. They're not going for real life, like, because it's got a fantasy setting, but you got all these games pushing for like super amazing, like realistic, gritty visuals. You got The Order, you got Witcher 3, Metal Gear Solid. I don't know, 5, a little bit different, but there's so many people out there that see these games and they immediately, first of all, make it like they're great games automatically because they have these amazing visuals, like Mortal Kombat X and, like I said, The Witcher 3 and that Ghost Recon Rainbow Six game, whatever it's called. And it's automatically good because it's got these awesome, amazing visuals. And then you got those same people that think that they see like the indie game Ori and the Dark Forest or whatever it was, excuse me, and immediately that game's just not even, they're never going to play it. It can't be a good game. How could you compare a game like that to The Witcher 3? Then Zelda comes out. Oh my God, that doesn't even look anywhere near the level of graphics of Witcher 3 and all these other games. So, and it's like, I feel sorry for these people. I really do, because if you're limiting yourself to only gritty, super realistic visuals, and you're automatically giving these games a grade of A, or great because they look this way, and then you're not going to play all these other games, that tells me that your graphics are more than gameplay to you. So like I said, I feel sorry for these people because they're acting like they're the superior ones, and we're like grown men playing kiddie games. The difference is that I'll be playing The Witcher 3, I'll be playing Arkham Knight, and I'll be playing the new Zelda. I'll be playing Yoshi's Woolly World. I'll be playing all the games. So who's the one that's limiting themselves? And I've seen a lot of comments on the Zelda, especially, and the Yoshi one too, where these people are laughing like, "Oh my God, these games look so kiddie," and I wanted gloom. There's one guy, and I could not make this up. I would have never thought this. He said, and I quote, moody colors, I don't know what that means, makes a game more realistic, and because it's realistic, it draws me into the game better." Like, somebody actually thinks that way. And I replied to the guy on IGN. I didn't get an email saying I got a reply back, but first of all, moody colors, what does that mean? That I was like, the real world is actually very colorful. Like, I live in West Michigan on Lake Michigan. We have beautiful beaches with bright blue water and the sun you know, bright yellow in the sky. We got green grass, green leaves everywhere. There's trees. Everything's colorful. Everything looks amazing. Yeah, when it's cloudy, it's not as bright and nice. And why does dirty, gritty visuals all of a sudden make something more realistic? Like that doesn't compute with me. So I cannot believe some of these people. I feel sorry for them. They're missing out. I'm gonna play the games that they're hyping up, as well as Zelda, as well as Yoshi and Ori and the Dark Forest, or whatever it's called. I'm gonna play all these games, and they're gonna miss out. They're gonna be playing their super realistic games that are all based around, you know, other than some of the fantasy ones, all the shooters and stuff. So that's just really been bugging me the last 2 days, reading comments and stuff. I know people are trolls and all that, but I just feel sorry for these people. And, you know, they talk about PC Master Race and all that, you know, because they only play games on PC if they're on the highest resolution and, you know, this and that. But if you play games, it doesn't matter if you're 40 years old, if you're 10, you should be playing to experience great gameplay and a fun experience, whether it's a like adult story or like a whimsical story or has no story whatsoever. It should be about the gameplay and all that. And I don't want to say I'm better than them, but I feel like I'm the one that's not missing out, because I'm going to play all these games, and they're the ones that are going to be missing out. So, you know, I don't know if this is a place to say that or start that discussion. Maybe I'll do a separate video about it later, but that's just really been bugging me. I've just seen some of the dumbest comments, and you just gotta laugh at it. But you know, I got in a comment war with a pretty known YouTuber who's pretty much trolls all Nintendo videos, and you know, basically made the point that, you know, back on Sega CD there was guys saying, oh, this best, most realistic looking game, you know, and now it looks like absolute dog shit. And the Super Nintendo games that were being compared to it still look good, like Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island, Link to the Past. Those games still look good, and art style always holds up. That's why it's called art, because art stands the test of time. Look at Van Gogh's paintings. I mean, look at how valued those are. So art always holds up better. Realistic visuals will always be trumped 2 years, 3 years later. There'll always be a better looking realistic game that makes the one before it look bad. So that's all I want to say about that. I got a couple more questions. Mario Walker says, do you think the Wii U is the modern day Super Nintendo because the Wii and NES were, is that culture phenomenons? I could see the Wii U when you talk about just its game library and stuff, but the Super Nintendo had tons of third-party support. Squaresoft at the time, at Square Enix now, they had all the Final Fantasy games. You know, they had Mortal Kombat, they had Street Fighter. Like, Street Fighter was the place, Super Nintendo was the place to play Street Fighter. Like, that was the best version of the game by far. The Super Nintendo was the more powerful system over the Sega Genesis. Had the FX chip for games like Star Fox, could do polygons, Donkey Kong Country. That system was far superior technically. The 16-bit audio versus the Genesis. I've heard like Rock and Roll Racing on the Genesis versus the Super Nintendo. Someday, or go look on YouTube, look up Rock and Roll Racing Super Nintendo, hear the music, and then go to Rock and Roll Racing Genesis, and it sounds like NES audio on the Genesis, and the Super Nintendo sounds like almost CD quality. So I don't think it's going to be the Super Nintendo because of that. It's going to be more like the GameCube, except for the GameCube was more powerful than the PS2. So it's kind of a thing of its own. But one thing that I've been saying lately, and I continue to believe this, is we're getting all the best versions of these franchises on the Wii U, and it's not just because of the visuals. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is probably the best 2D platformer I've ever played, just because of the controls and the music and the art style. Like the level design just look really cool, and I think it's the best Donkey Kong game by far, and it's probably the best 2D platformer ever. New Super Mario Bros. U is my favorite 2D Mario game. I think it takes everything that's good about the 2D Mario games and it makes it all into one package, and it's the best version. 3D World, I don't know if it's quite as good as Galaxy 2 as far as like the game itself, but it was my most enjoyable 3D Mario game I've ever played. I put 53 hours into that game, and it's right there with Galaxy 2. Mario Kart 8, it's already probably the best Mario Kart game. You know, nostalgia tells me that the Super Nintendo and the DS one are better, but then I go back and play them, and Mario Kart 8, the controls and the just everything about the presentation is the best version. So Pikmin 3, obviously, best version of Pikmin, no question. And I think it's going to continue. I think Smash, you know, maybe the diehards for Melee won't say it, but I think it's going to be the best Smash game. And that Zelda game, if that art style, if they put really good mechanics and a good story and make it so you're not just wandering around getting lost and bored, if they somehow make that world full of life, I think we're going to have the best Zelda game. You know, like I said, that was a defining moment when I saw that trailer. And just since I'm talking about Zelda, Grayson Young asked, "Did you see in the Zelda reveal Link had earrings?" I believe there was earrings. I noticed that. But some people are saying that might be a female character, and then Anuma said that no one. This was the quote. No one said that we saw Link in that trailer. So he was either trolling us or hinting that that's not Link. So, and by the age and it could be like a son, Link's son or something, or it could be maybe Zelda. I don't know. I could see it either way. It could be a boy or girl. I thought the character design was so good that I'd love to see a movie with that style, humanoid elf character, whatever you want to say. That the face and the design, the art style, I'd love to see a whole movie based on that. It looked amazing. I got no complaints. So yeah, if you guys can't figure it out, I was blown away yesterday. I was very happy. I thought Nintendo just did an excellent job with everything they did. We got that 3DS game reveal later. I don't know what else to say. They definitely have the most exclusives. I would have liked to see them maybe highlight some of the third-party games. Maybe give Watch Dogs is pretty hyped up still. Maybe give that some attention. I would have liked to have seen that like maybe be playable or something. And then talk about, you know, it's Call of Duty. It would have been nice to confirm that just so people can't say we're not even getting Call of Duty. You know, there's got to be some of those games. You got to have some of those third-party games, and I would kind of wish they would have touched upon that. But they basically give them the middle finger to press and third parties with their digital event. You know, they're making fun of themselves too. So thought it was great. Sony's press conference was boring and I hated it, and Microsoft's was decent, but saw some great games. Hopefully there's maybe some more reveals for some Wii U games, and like I said earlier, it'd be awesome if they ended E3 with a new Zelda trailer showing a bunch of gameplay, and I'd like to see like a nighttime or like a cave setting with see how the lighting engine's going to work with like flames. Very excited, and if they did that, that would leave like no doubt no one could ignore Nintendo at E3. All the people that said they weren't going to be there and stuff. If they end with like an awesome Zelda trailer, I've got my fingers crossed. That would just be amazing. Be like the final, you know, cherry on top of a great E3, and just I'm happy, and you know, can't really say anything else. And I've actually given up playing Mario Kart for 2 straight days because of all this awesomeness from E3. And speaking of Mario Kart, I'm glad I remembered. My Juices Loose tournament is tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We had 13 participants last week, and I had 5 or 6 people say they'd be there that didn't show up. I'm hoping this E3 is not too distracting and we can get some people to play again. The randomly selected rules, it's 150cc, bombs only, and it's all vehicles again. And it's going to be 16 races. The Juice is Loose. The code to get in is 033034001257. I'll put that in the description. I got the people watching this. If you have Mario Kart 8 and you didn't take place in that tournament, and if you can make it, it's tomorrow night, Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, and 16 races, and it was a lot of fun last week. The winner was a me character named Josh. Never got his Nintendo Network ID name, and hopefully he can come back and try to, you know, or hold his trophy or keep his trophy, whatever the term I'm looking for. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, hopefully you guys can join that. You know, they kind of hinted at Mario Kart 8 with the amiibo characters, how it's, you know, it works with Smash where it can remember and save data. Like, you can have a custom fighter with movesets and you just got to swipe that on your gamepad and your character's immediately there. They hinted at that for Mario Kart 8, so maybe we'll see some DLC early next year, I'd think. I wouldn't expect to see it this year. And yeah, with that, I appreciate everyone for watching. Thanks for the questions. I guess if this is on YouTube, the replay, if you're watching this on the replay, what are your thoughts on E3? Put it in the comments. You know, share this on Google Plus and all that. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna go back to watching some more footage, and stay tuned for that 3DS announcement. I'll probably be posting on Google Plus when that happens, my reaction to that, and I might upload that live reaction video. It wasn't live, but I recorded myself while I was watching the digital event. I might edit that together and try to upload that tomorrow or something, but we'll have to see. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys and gals. I don't know if I have any female viewers. Don't think I've ever had a comment from female, but anyway, we'll see you guys later. I might do another video in a couple days once E3 is all said and done, but well, look forward to that. So we'll see ya.